Hey everyone, this is our Shopify Upgrades in Under 30 Minutes series where we recreate features of successful e-commerce brands. And today we're looking at Apple. So for example, if you're looking at their iPad Pro, you can see that they have a lot of options to choose from. There's the model, the finish, storage, display glass, connectivity, and it just goes on and on. But with Shopify, you're limited to only 3 variant options. So if you wanted to add all of these options to your store, you normally have to install one of those product options apps or hire a developer. But with this tutorial, I'll show you how you can add it to your store yourself so you can offer these additional options to your customers. Now, if you have a specific set of requirements that we haven't covered today or in our other tutorials, and you're looking to hire us for personalized help, then you can book a call with us at theprompted.co. All right, so let's add these custom product options to your store. Okay, so let's first do a little demo of what this customization can look like. We're on our demo store. We're using the Dawn theme, and you can see here we've got all these different options here. So we've got color, size, material, and then we have these personalization options here. So the color, size, and material are the 3 variant options that are normally available. So if we go to our product, you can see here that we've assigned these variant options here. But we have these additional options beneath it. So we've got some text that we can enter. We've got another picker here. So this can be, say, the color of the personalization. And then we have a few toggle switches as well. So you can maybe turn these on, right? So you have a lot of different options to choose from beyond just the 3 that we have here. And with this customization, we can actually add even more. So we only have, say, 4 additional options here, but you could add more text boxes. You can add more pickers, more toggle switches. It's really up to you. And so we're going to build that out in this tutorial. So once you add this product to cart, you can actually see here that it adds all of these properties into the cart itself as well, right? And so if you view the cart, you're going to see everything in here, right? So you've got personalization, the color, gift wrap, shipping protection, and then you can go to checkout. And if you go through and place the order, you'll see all of this information is also in the order itself, right? And then if you actually look at the confirmation email, right, that information is going to flow into the confirmation email as well. So it goes through every step of the process so that your customers can see all of these additional options that were selected. Okay, so let's take a quick look at our theme editor so that we can see what customization options we have with this. So here we are in our theme editor. We're looking at the default product. And in order to add one of these options in, you would add block. And you can see here we've got these custom checkbox input, custom options picker, and custom text input. And we've actually added some in here. So that's the custom text input there, right? We can name it to whatever we want. We can just say custom text, for example. So then we just know what it is on the left side here. And right now we've set this as personalization, right? So that's going to be the value that shows up right here, right, on your on your cart and in your orders. And this is going to be what actually shows up on the product page. And then here is some placeholder text, right? So that's how you can add a text box. Next, we've got the picker, right? So we have here the option to, again, name it as whatever we want on the left side. This is going to be the property that shows up in the cart and orders. And then you can also choose this to be pills or drop down. So let's take off the swatches for a moment. So that's the pills. You can change it to a drop down. And you also have the option to set it to a swatch. And we can also change the size. Okay, so now let's take a look at our toggle switches. We have this similar options here, right? We can name it whatever we want, so we can see it on the left side. This is going to be the property name, and we can decide whether it's checked by default or not. So when you load the page, it'll be checked by default, or it can be unchecked. And then the customer can choose from there. You can also change the color that the switch has. So let's say we make this more of a red. Then if we have it checked, you can see this one's red, but then this one is going to be green. So you can actually have different colors for your toggle switches. And then this one is also a toggle switch, the same options there. And so those are the settings that we have there, and we can add more options. So for example, if we wanted to add another text input, so we can select that. We can say drag it up to right here. And let's call this, let's call it the prompted picker. And let's just name this prompted picker option, just so it's a little bit easier to know what we're looking at. And we are going to, we're going to say this is a custom option, and then let's save. So you're going to see it doesn't quite show up yet. And that's because we have to specify which products should be seeing this picker, right? Because we don't want it to show up with every single product. So what we do to activate it is we have this property named the prompted picker. So we come to our product and we have these meta fields here. And so here, this meta field, custom input properties to enable, this is the meta field that's going to specify which custom options we want to show up on this product. So I'm going to add the prompted picker, right, which is the property that we just created. And we're going to add that in, and we'll save. And now if we come back to our theme editor, let's just give this a quick refresh. And you can see here now we have this additional product option. And so this works the same way with the toggle switches, with the options pickers. You can create any number of them that you want, and you can reorganize them into whichever order that you want. So let's say we put it down here. We can shift this down. And so you've got a lot of flexibility with these options. Okay, so if this looks good to you, then let's start adding it to your store. Okay, so we're now in our Shopify admin, and we're looking at the themes area, and we're going to be working off of this theme right here. So this is Dawn version 15. It's a fresh install, but we've added our swatch video tutorial into this code. So there's been a minor change. If you want to include swatches with your product options, then you'll need to add the swatch video in there first. But if you don't want the swatches or you don't need the swatches, you can skip that part and just use your fresh Dawn install. It's just not going to work when you try to select the swatch options. But like I mentioned, if you want the swatches, then check out that video. Link will be in the description. So before you start, just make sure to duplicate your theme. If you're using a fresh install, then you might not need to do this, but in most cases you will. So duplicate your theme first before you make any changes, just in case anything goes wrong. It'll be easier to revert back. Okay, so our first step is we're going to create some meta fields and meta objects. So let's go to settings, custom data, and we're going to create a new meta object definition. And we're going to call this the custom product options. And we're going to add a few fields. The first one will be single line text. We're going to call this title, and we're going to make this required. This is just going to be the name of our meta object that we're creating. Secondly, we're going to have also a single line text. We're going to call this option name. And this is going to be required as well. And we will add. And the third one will also be single line text. In this case, it'll be a list of values, not just one value. We're going to call this option values. We'll also make this required. And so this meta object will be used for the picker option that we were showing earlier. And so let's just save this. And then let's go back and create a couple meta fields. So the first meta field that we're going to create is going to be called custom input properties to enable. And this is going to be single line text, but it's going to be a list of values. Okay, and we're going to save. And the second one is going to be the custom options pickers to enable. This is going to be type meta object. And then we're going to select the meta object we just created, so custom product options, and it's going to be a list of entries. And so we'll save. And so that's it. So that's the meta objects and the meta fields that we're creating. Just make sure that you're creating a product meta field. And then let's move on to edit code. Okay, so we're back in our themes area, and now we can edit some code. But before you do, make sure you duplicate your theme so that if anything goes wrong, it'll be easier to revert back to your previous version. So let's edit code, and we're going to edit the main product.liquid file. And in here, you can see at the top, there's going to be some CSS and JS files that are being included. And so we're going to include our own JSS and CSS. So we're going to come beneath where this section is, and just come above the first 3D model right there. And we're going to paste our first code block. Okay, and next, what we're going to do is we're going to search for picker. And you're going to see here, there's this variant picker. And what this is actually the block that you can find in your theme editor. So you can see here, variant picker is the block in our theme editor. That's what this is right here. And so let's just come beneath there and paste our second code block. And then in here, we are creating our own blocks. So we've got our custom text input, custom checkbox input, custom options picker. And so what those are going to do is when we add block right here, it's going to show up as an option here so we can add it in. Okay, third, we're going to continue down. And then here are the variant picker options. And so this is the schema section of our product section. And this is what defines all these settings you can see here on the right side. So if you go to, say, the product information section, or you go to the variant picker block, these are the settings that will help define what's going on in your block. And so we're going to add our own settings for the new blocks that we just created. And we're going to do it just beneath this variant picker block. So we can click right beside this curly bracket here, scroll down, and you're going to see that it highlights where it ends. So we'll just come beneath there, and we're going to paste in our third code block right here. And now we can save. Okay, so if we refresh, we're going to see that we now have the options to add our custom text input, custom checkbox input, and custom options picker. But we're not going to do it just yet because we're not quite done with the code yet. So what we're going to do next is we're going to actually create some of these files that we just referenced. And so you can see here that you've got this red underline beneath these files here, and also right here for the product options custom that we're referencing here. For this one right here, this component product variant swatch custom .css, if you have previously installed the swatch customization that we mentioned earlier, then this is already a file that is in your theme. If you haven't done it, then this will also not show as a file that to be found. But like I mentioned previously, if you're not interested in adding swatches to this customization, then you can just ignore it. You don't need to add that in. But if you do want the swatches, then you're going to have to follow that tutorial. So let's add in our new files. So the first one we're going to do is the snippet. So we'll just come here and we'll add a new snippet, and we're going to call this the product options custom.liquid. Okay, and we're now going to copy and paste our code into here, and we'll just save that. Next, we're going to create an asset. We're going to create a blank file. We'll do JS first, and this is going to be called the product options custom.js. And we're going to create our file, and we're going to paste our code into here. And then finally, we're going to add another asset. This time it's going to be the CSS file. This will also be product options custom.css. And we are going to copy and paste our CSS into here. Okay, and so the last file that we're going to be editing is going to be the buy buttons .liquid file. And so we're going to come into here, and you're going to see here we've got this this form. All right, so there's going to be a product form, and then there's going to be an input element, and we're going to come right below it. We've got this if gift card recipient check, and we're going to paste in our block right here. Okay, and so now we can save. And so what we've done here is to grab the information that we are creating on the product information, right? So those new pickers that we're going to be adding, and make sure that it gets into our cart and checkout pages. So that should be everything. Now let's add some options to our product. So what we can do first is let's add a block. Let's add a text block first. And we're going to drag this up to it's below the variant picker. We're going to add a checkbox input, and we're going to put this below here. We're going to add a custom options picker. Put that right here. Let's add a second custom options picker actually, and put that underneath there as well. Okay, so let's start defining some of these things. So this can be, let's call this personalization text input. We'll call this personalization. So this is going to be the property name. So this is going to be used in a few different ways. So we'll come back to this in a second. Input text will be add your personalization. Okay, and then enter your custom text. That should be fine. So in order to activate this, we have to make sure that this shows up in our product metafields as well. So we'll save that first. We can copy this, and we'll come to our product. Okay, so let's refresh to make sure our metafields are showing up since we had just created them. And we can come down here and we can see our metafields. And so what we're going to do is we're going to come here. And so one of the metafields is the custom input properties to enable. And the other one is the custom options pickers to enable. So in this case, we actually want to add our personalization into the custom input properties, right? So we'll save that. And that's because this here is a property, right? It's our personalization property. And so we are activating the personalization property in this product. So this product is the prompted t-shirt with custom options. And so we are looking at that product here. And if we refresh, we can see we have our personalization showing up. But if we go to any other product, that's not going to show up. So here we can refresh. We've got a personalization option there. But if we go to the prompted original and we go to, let's say, just the regular t-shirt without the customization options, it doesn't show up, right? So it's only going to show up for the products where we've activated it in the metafields. And if we type something in here, we get it showing up in our cart, right? View cart, you can see it showing up there. Okay, let's get rid of these and let's go back. Okay, so let's continue on. Let's add our checkbox input now. So here we can call this our gift wrapping option. And then we can call this gift wrap. And what we're gonna show on the site is add gift wrapping. Okay, and so we can save that. So in this case, our property name is gift wrap. So let's copy that and we're going to go to our products and we're going to add this to our list of properties to include. And we're going to save. And now if we come to our theme editor again, refresh, we can see here now our toggle is added there. Okay, so let's move on. So we've got our custom options picker. We can call this, let's say, the prompted option 1. We're gonna call this, I don't know, option 1, let's say. And we are going to then activate this. So let's save and go to our product. And we're going to activate this in here and save. But this time we're going to see that it actually isn't going to show up, right? So nothing shows up quite yet. And that's because with the pickers, we also have to define what options the pickers have. And so that's why we created that meta object earlier. So let's go back out here and let's go to our content area, go to our meta objects, and we're going to select the custom product options meta object. And now we have to create an entry. And so this is the title to help us identify it. So we'll call this prompted original t-shirt option 1. We'll call it custom option 1, let's say. And this option name actually has to match the property that we just created. So we call this option 1. So we're going to have to match that. And so because what's happening in the code is it's going to search for any meta object that matches this name. So it needs to match exactly. And then here is where you specify the values. So we can say, let's just use something random. So let's call it 1, let's say, 2, 3, 4. So these are our 4 different options. We can save. And now if we come back to our product, we have this option available. And so we can select that. And so now what we've done is we've said for the picker, we've specified the options available, which is through the meta object. And we've also specified the property that we are adding. And these are the 2 things that are needed in order to get it into our, to show up on our product page. And so if we refresh, we should see our 4 options available now. And there you go. So now we have our 4 options for option 1. And we can do that again. We can do that for option 2, let's say. We're going to call this one custom option 2. This will be the custom options 2 picker, right? And so that's just to help us identify it on the left side. We'll save that. So again, this property name is very important. It's going to be how we identify everything. So we'll come back to our meta objects area. We'll add a new entry. And this is where we place the property name. The title can be anything we want. The prompted original option 2, right? Just to help us identify it. And then here we can choose anything we want here. So we could, this could be 5, 6, 7, 8. We can just leave that typo in there. That's fine. So let's save. And now we go back to our product and we have to select two things, right? So we've got to add our property name in here. So custom option 2. And we also have to select the values that that option 2 contains, right? Which is the 5, 6, 7, 8. And we can save. We come back to our theme editor. We can refresh. And now we can see we've got our options in here. So let's come back out to our website now. We'll refresh our page and you can see all of our options there, right? So we have our regular product variants, but we also have, some text we can personalize. We can add gift wrapping if we want. We can choose all these different options, and it won't show up on any other product that we haven't specified it for. So I refresh this page, you still don't see those options coming up. If we add this product to cart, those options aren't there. If we add it to cart here, we can see we've got all those extra options. So now when we view cart, you can see you've got your two different products, one with all your extra options and the other one that does not. Great. So the last step that we need to do is we need to make sure that when the customer orders this product, that it actually shows up in their confirmation email. And so that doesn't happen by default. We have to add one last customization to make that happen. So we're going to come back to our settings area. We're going to go to our notifications. And we're going to go to customer notifications. And we're going to update both the order confirmation email and the shipping confirmation email, because those are the ones that typically the customers want to see what they're actually getting. So the order confirmation email, we're going to edit code. And in here, we're going to look for the for line in subtotal line items. Okay, so this loop here is going to loop through all the products in your order and show them in the order confirmation email. And we're going to scroll down a little bit until we see this line about this gift card, if line.giftcard. And we're going to place our code right in here. So we're just going to copy and paste in here. And so this is just going to loop through our different properties and display them on the order confirmation email. So let's save that. And we're going to come back out. And we're going to do something very similar with the shipping confirmation email. So we can edit code. And we're going to, this time, look for the same loop, but it's going to be a little bit different. So for line in fulfillment, dot fulfillment line item. So this is the loop here. Again, if we scroll down, you're going to come to a spot where it's going to be talking about the line item selling plan allocation. And so we're just going to come and create a couple of spaces in there and paste our code into here. The code is almost the same as the previous one for the order confirmation, but the variables are a little bit different. So in this case, it's the line where we have to include line item in here. So let's save. And we can now run through a mock purchase. So let's just check out. And we're going to put in an email. We're going to just do a random address here. Testin, sure. Just random postal code. No, that's not correct. There we go, something like this. And we are going to use the bogus gateway, which allows you to do these mock orders. So I'll pay now. Okay, so now when we come back out, we can look at our orders and we can take a look here. And we can see here we've got two products, one which has the regular variant information, which is right here as well, but you also have all of these extra line item properties that we've added in through our customization just now. And if you actually look at the email that gets sent out, you can see here that it also shows up as well, right into the email. If we actually come back out and look at this first order here, so we hadn't added that fix in just yet. So if you look at our email here, you don't see any line item properties, but actually in the order it still shows up here. So that's why we have to modify the email notification, the templates, because if you don't do that, then you can see here that the customer doesn't know that they've added those properties in, even though you can see it on the backside, on the back end admin orders area. So let's come back out, go back here, and let's say we are going to fulfill these items. So let's fulfill, and we can do some random tracking number with some random, let's say USPS, for example. And we can send our information, right? So we're just fulfilling. And then it's going to show us that, okay, we've sent a shipping confirmation email. We can view the email, and it will also show these line item properties here. If we don't change the email template like we did with the orders, again, the shipping confirmation email won't have those properties. But that's pretty much it. So that's our customization on how to add all of these custom options into your product page, so that you can have tons of flexibility with your product. So that you know, if you're like Apple and you have all these different options to include with your product, but you don't know how to do it because Shopify only gives you 3 variant options. Well, this is how you can now add all sorts of custom options. You've got you've got custom text inputs, you've got toggle switches, you've got pickers, and you can add any number of them as you want into your products. You can select the different products that they show. Some products can have some of these, and other products can have a different set. So lots of flexibility here, and I hope you like it. So let me know in the comments below on how you plan on using these custom options. And as a reminder, if there's anything that you need for your store that we haven't covered today or in our other tutorials and want to hire us for personalized help, then book a call with us at theprompted.co. Anyway, that's it for today, and I'll see you in the next one.